She's sitting in the chair, the lamp's on. The book is open on her lap to the same page it always opens to. She reads the first line, then the second. She stops. Not because something interrupted her, because nothing did. The room is exactly the same. The light is the same. The words are the words she has read many times before. In this chair, in this light. She stays with them. Nothing changes in the room. She does not turn the page. The lamp throws the same light it always throws. The book is the same weight on the lap. There is nothing wrong with this room. There is nothing wrong with this hour. That is what makes this hard to name. Everything that belongs here is here. The chair, the light, the text, you. And yet something between you and the page is not moving. Not because you stop it. You have not stopped it. You have been returning to this faithfully for a long time. And you have not yet learned that faithfulness and entry are not the same thing. You have been moving through a text without letting it move through you. You are still on the same page. The lamp throws its light across the open page. The words are legible. And yet, there is a kind of glass that takes years to become clear, not because it is cloudy, but because the light has to find the exact angle of entry. The craftsman does not force this. He positions the glass and waits. He knows what the glass is capable of. He does not know when. One morning the room is simply different. The light has found its way in. He was not there when it happened. He only knows it happened because everything is the same and something is not. Splendor, Latin splendere, to radiate the light the thing was already carrying, not the light that falls on a surface from outside, the light that was inside, present from the beginning, waiting for the condition that would allow it to release. The text holds this. It has held it through every reading. Every time you have moved through it without crossing, the brightness was not diminished. It does not diminish. It waits with a patience that is not the same thing as indifference. Her grandmother died 2 years ago. They used to sit in this chair together in this light with this book. They did not discuss what they were reading. That was the whole point. The hour had its own quality. Something came into the room that was not the reading and not the silence, but something that lived between them. She has come back every week since. She brings the same book. She opens it to the same page. The chair is the same. The lamp's the same. She cannot locate what is different. She only knows that something that used to arrive here is no longer arriving. And she does not know if it was ever in the words. The root gives more than a definition. Splendere in the old usage was not a quality applied to a thing from outside. It was a quality the thing disclosed under the right conditions. The sun does not give the gold its splendor. It reveals what the gold was already carrying. The difference matters. One asks for better light. The other asks for a different kind of readiness. Not the readiness of preparation. The readiness that comes from the cessation of a particular kind of effort. The effort to extract. The willingness, instead, to receive. There is a place in the body below the throat and above the stomach. You may felt something move there once, reading a sentence that landed before you understood it. Not comprehension, something prior to comprehension. The sentence entered before the mind arrived to receive it. You have been in this body for years. You know the difference between reading with your eyes and reading with that place. You have been spending most of your time in the eyes. The other place is still there. It has not closed. It does not close. It is waiting for the eyes to slow down enough that it can do its work. There are two ways of carrying a sacred text that are not enough. The first is the way of the one who knows it completely, who can locate every passage, who holds its history and its argument and its moral architecture with precision. This person has given ears to the text. This person is not wrong. But the text for this person has become a document, a record of what happened and what it means. The second is the way of the one who has gone further, who has used the text as a ladder into silence, into discipline, into the interior life. This person has gone deeper. This person is not wrong either. But even here, the text can become a tool, a means to an end that was chosen before sitting down to read. You may recognize yourself in one of these. You may recognize yourself in both. The chair is the same. The lamp is the same. The door has not moved. But neither of these two ways leads through it. There is a third way of reading that neither of them is. You have felt it once, maybe. The sentence that entered before you arrived to receive it. That is the place this hour is asking you to find again. For a few minutes, set aside the reading, not the book. Let the book stay where it is. Let the lamp stay on. Let the chair hold what it has always held. We're not going to try to extract anything in this hour. We're not going to arrive at an insight or complete a passage. We're going to practice a different kind of attention. Slower, less purposeful, more like the way you would hold something you are not yet sure of. We are going to stay with what is here, without asking it to be more than it is, without asking it to move before it is ready. We hold the book, not to read now, to carry it in the hands and on the lap as what it is, a thing that contains more than we have received from it. We are not reading, we are holding. Notice the weight of it, real weight. The pages have a texture, the spine has a resistance. This object has been opened many times and has not emptied. We stay with this, the physical fact of it, without turning the page, without asking the next sentence to be the one that finally opens. Carry this one, this page, this moment of not yet. We hold it and we do not let go. There is something in us that wants to move, that reads stillness as absence, that interprets not arriving as not being close. We notice this. We do not correct it. We hold it alongside everything else. The impulse to turn the page is here. We carry it. The sense that this hour should be producing something is here. We carry that too. We are not clearing the room of these things. We are staying with them, the way you stay with someone who is restless, without asking them to be calm. We hold the whole thing together, the book, the lamp, the impulse, the not yet, without letting any of it go before it is ready. The lamp is still on. The chair is the same chair. Beside you, the cup has gone cold. Notice this, not as something lost, as a sign of time spent here. You have been present long enough for the cup to go cold. That is not nothing. The wooden chair beneath you has held this posture before, in other hours, with other people. It knows this kind of weight. We stay in it. We do not ask the hour to justify itself by producing something we can name. We hold the cup and the warm lamp, and the open book, and the chair that has always been here. We stay with all of it. We do not let it go yet. A sentence is still on the page. We do not read it now. We hold it the way you would hold a word in a language you are still learning, turning it without yet knowing what it wants to give you. The brightness inside this sentence is not inaccessible. It is simply not receivable by the part of us that moves quickly. We stay. We slow down one more degree. We do not arrive. We carry the possibility of arrival without insisting on it. Not yet. We hold the page open. We hold the hour open. We hold ourselves open to what has not yet come through. The glass is in place. We wait with the craftsman. We do not move the glass. Stay with what is in front of you. The book still open, the lamp still on. The cup that has gone cold beside the chair. You have not fallen behind. You have not missed the moment. The sentence is still there. It has not changed. The brightness inside it has not diminished because you did not reach it in this hour. It does not work that way. It was not diminished by any of the previous hours either. It has been carried forward through every reading, patient, undiminished, waiting for the quality of attention that cannot be forced and cannot be scheduled. Carry this, the hour, the posture, the unresolved question of whether something is arriving or whether this is already what arriving looks like. Hold the not knowing without putting down. Stay with the lamp and the chair and the open book and the cold cup and the quality of this light that is not asking you to do anything except remain. Remain, not forever, for this. Stay with what you have been given to carry. Do not let it go yet. The glass is in the room. The light knows the angle. Neither one is lacking. Begin, slowly, to let the room return. The book on your lap, the lamp's warmth at the edge of your field. The wooden chair, the same chair it has always been. You have been somewhere in this hour, even if you cannot name where. You were present in a way that is different from reading. You stayed when the hour gave you nothing to hold except the hour itself. The return does not require you to have arrived somewhere. You were here. That belongs to you. There is something in this hour that did not come from you. You brought the chair, the lamp, the book, the willingness to return. Something else was already here when you arrived. It does not announce itself. It does not require you to name it correctly or locate it precisely. It is present in this room the way the light from the lamp is present. Not because you generated it, but because the conditions allowed it to be here. We are about to turn toward it, not to petition, not to instruct it or ask it to act on our behalf, to acknowledge, simply, that it was here before we arrived, that is here now, and that we are, for this moment, in its presence. That is enough to turn toward. That is all the turning requires. Creator, you have been inside this book longer than we can count. Before we arrived at this page, before the chair was here, before the lamp was on, long before any of this, we have been reading our way toward you inside it. We have not always known that is what we were doing. We thought we were studying. We thought we were keeping a practice. We thought we were honoring something we have understood by returning it to it faithfully. And all of that was real. And all of that was, perhaps, also a kind of circling around the edge of what we could not yet enter. We come now to name this before you, not as a confession, not as a rebuke, as a simple truth of where we have been, said aloud, in your presence. You were inside the text the whole time, patient with every reading we brought, undiminished by our distance, undiminished by our years of moving through without crossing. You did not move, you waited. We are only now beginning to understand what kind of patience that is. The book is open on the lap, the lamp still on. The cup beside the chair has gone cold, and you are in this room right now. Not the lamp, not the cold cup, not the warmth of the chair that has held us. You, present before any of this was here. We're very close to you. We have been close to you every time you sat in this chair and did not know it. We are saying it now because we want it to be said before you. Because some things need to be spoken in the presence of the one they are spoken to. You are here. We are here. The book is open. You are not far. You have never been far. We are only now learning how near you have always been to everything we were already holding. We lower whatever we have been carrying as a means of reaching you: the scholarship, the practice, the years of return, the need to arrive correctly. You set them beside the chair the way you set things down before you embrace someone you have not seen in a long time. They are still ours. We will carry them again. But for this moment, we are not carrying them. We are here before you, open, still, in the room where your light was always present, in the room where it still is, where you still are. I do not know what this hour did with you. Maybe the taxi stayed exactly what it was. Maybe you stayed exactly where you were, and nothing passed between you. That is a real possibility. Or maybe something moved in a place you will not be able to identify for several days, until a sentence comes back to you different than it left. I do not know which, neither do you, yet. At some point she realizes she has read the same sentence 4 times. She does not start again. She stays with it, not reading now, only looking, as if waiting for the sentence to decide something she cannot decide for it. The lamp is still on. The cup beside her has gone cold. She has not moved. The room is the same room you entered. The lamp is still on. The book has not changed. You have not changed in any way you could demonstrate to anyone else. And yet, you stayed when staying was difficult. You held what had no handle. You carried the hour without knowing what you were carried toward. That is its own kind of work. Not the work of abstraction, the other kind. The kind that does not produce results you can name and does not stop mattering because of that. One thing before we return to the rest of the day. Take one sentence from a text you know completely. Not to study it, not to locate its meaning or its context. Read it as slowly as your breath allows, once, without moving to the next line. Let it be the only sentence in the room for that moment. Notice whether anything in you slows down to read it. That is enough. That is the whole practice. The brightness inside the familiar does not ask you to become different. It asks you to become more still in the presence of what you already hold. And this matters more than it sounds, because a life spent moving through the text without crossing into it is a particular kind of diminishment, not a moral failure, a slow, quiet distance from the thing that was meant to come all the way in. The craftsman who never sees the room change, the glass in place for years, positioned correctly, and the light never finding the angle. Not because the glass was wrong, because the weighting was never given its full weight. The lamp is already on, the book is already open, the chair is already here. These are not insufficient. They are the whole condition. You only need to remain in the room long enough for the light to learn where to enter. She reads the last sentence on the page. She does not turn it. The book stays open on her lap. The lamp is still on. The cup beside the chair has gone cold. The episode ends before she decides whether to continue or to close it. She's in the same chair, the same lamp, the same words, and something in the room that is not the lamp, that she has not named it and does not know she is not required to name, is still here. There is a kind of glass that takes years to become clear, not because it is cloudy, because the light has to find the exact angle of entry. The craftsman was not there when it happened. He only knew because, one morning, the room was different, still on the same page. Vesper word, one breath, one prayer.